Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the final round one matchup as Okada will be taking on Sting. This one is going to be very, very interesting as Sting is the current TCW US champion. But walking down the aisle is perhaps one of the very best Japan has ever seen. He holds one half of the TCW Duos titles. But he will be facing Stinger. In this explosive round one matchup. And it's hard to say who will have the advantage in this one. Sting certainly looked absolutely dynamite so far. He's got an unblemished record in TCW. Okada has a loss to his name, but seemed to have struck gold with Inoki. And for those who have watched TCW TV, a lot of intrigue around the alliance that seems to have been formed between Inoki, Okada, Shinsuke, and Naito. We saw interference in matchups. Not a whole lot can be said as all four members refuse to comment. But that could certainly be a force to be reckoned with in TCW if they were to band together. And Naito tagged with Inoki, Shinsuke, Okada, and now Inoki has been thrown into the mix, have all tagged in the past. So there seems to be at least some chemistry there, and whether it's just the fact that they're, good tag partners or whether they have common goals, we'll have to keep an eye on, certainly. And you have to wonder if that will play a role in this tournament or moving forward. But definitely something to keep a keen eye on. Which brings me to the point of Sting and Warrior's involvement as of late. Both make up the tag team of the Blade Runners. So, wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to see Sting and the Warrior, our Ultimate and US champions, respectively, face Okada and Inoki for their duos titles eventually. But whether the stars will align while they both have their singles titles, maybe unlikely, but they had time to squeeze in a tag match in between week one and the pay-per-view. While that was before Warrior won the Ultimate title, Sting had his title at the time. Just food for thought, certainly. But you have to think, two of the best singles competitors in TCW, if you take the belts at face value. It's still very early on in the season, so there is argument to say, well, this guy didn't have a shot yet. He would be champion if he did. Totally understood. But two of the best single competitors in TCW, arguably, with tag experience dating back decades, against a makeshift team of Okada, the future, and Inoki, the past. The New Orient Express, as they call it. It would certainly be a match that I would be willing to watch, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know what your opinion is on that. If you do, I would like to hear it, but I don't know who I would have winning that, that's for sure. I think I would have to give the edge to Sting and the Warrior, both undefeated, and I mean, if Warrior and Sting were in this tournament, I would say I really have no earthly idea who's going to pull it out, because I really can't imagine either losing. So, and if Sting qualifies, if he makes it to the finals, they likely could and would face each other in the Alliance title tournament that will be taking place later this week. But again, we still have to hold our breath and find out who will be the three competitors, or remaining two, rather, competitors to represent TCW once that title tournament comes around the corner. And Sting has missed that splash again. Definitely Okada in the driver's seat now that Sting has knocked himself loopy, but didn't last for long. Sting had a tremendous pay-per-view defense of that U.S. title. He faced three other competitors, Bret Hart, Kenny Omega, and the Great Muta, and outlasted every single one. He has had, by far, in my opinion, the hardest schedule. You heard that right. The hardest schedule in TCW, and not a blemish to his name, but Okada is trying to give him that first loss. And if he can, I mean, as he bridges on that German, Sting kicks out. If he can defeat Sting and he goes for the same maneuver, Sting just barely able to kick out. As I was saying, if he can pull out the victory right here in this matchup, it would certainly be a great argument to get a U.S. title shot. He beat him once. They came in both completely fresh, as it's round one. Sting would have very few excuses, and I would honestly think that he would want to face him in a rematch. Sting's definitely one of the most competitive guys in the locker room. He's a fighting champion, and he is one of the best champions, to say the least. And these are some sketchy reports, ladies and gentlemen, and you can choose not to listen to rumor and innuendo, but the rumor so far, as Sting lands a bulldog, is that Sting will be defending his title on week 5 of TCW TV. So be sure to check that out. It should be another barn burner. I mean, he is a one-of-a-kind performer for sure. And what a match this is to close out round 1 of this qualifying tournament. Nice crossbody by Sting, and he is going for the win and only gets a 2 count. And this has been, I believe, the longest matchup of round 1. Another roll-up by Sting, this time out of the ropes. Only gets a 2 count. Nice neck breaker there by Sting. Whoever advances is not going to be having a great advantage just coming out rather of this matchup, as this has been nothing short of an all-time classic. Okada just trying to stay in the conversation so far. Sting trying to put him away, and that's a rope break. Sting did not use the ring placement well, and Okada goes for another German and gets a victory over the U.S. title holder, the man they call Sting. And what an upset victory that was. And certainly a match we will be seeing in the future moving forward, as Okada certainly just put himself in the conversation for a title shot. What a matchup that was. And that is the end of round 1, and we will have round 2 coming at you in a flash.